Wait.
Hi, thank you so much. So yes, hi, I'm Vertz. I'm going to be playing Odallus the Dark Call. I'm joined by the Phantomeyer. How are you doing, Phanto?
I'm doing fabulous this morning. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So I think we can just go ahead and dive in here. We'll talk about what makes this 100%. You can probably guess what it is based on the name. But we will go in 3, 2, 1, go. And we immediately skip a cutscene. The main thing to get from the cutscene is that our hero is named Haggis, and his town is on fire. He has a son who he wants to save. That's your story.
The classic story of the ages. I mean, if it doesn't start with a burning town, is it really an action platforming type game?
Always got to start with the town on fire. So we don't have very much in terms of movement options at this point. We can jump, we can walk, we can attack. That's about it. Oops. Nice, made it. It was a little bit close, but we made it.
As we go along, we'll start to get more things in terms of different movement options and being able to like do a lot of revisits and go through a bunch of the stages in just really interesting fashions as we go along. And it's really nice too, because it's one of those games where when you're doing 100% run, like you actually get to use a lot of what you wind up collecting. So we get these nice sort of quick slash cancels, and you'll do this in conjunction with some of the sub-item weapons that you wind up getting, which we'll wind up talking about as we go through the run, because they are a very, very precious resource.
Yeah, it's hard to get them.
One of the big reasons for that is just because with this shopkeeper that it is that you go to, items cost more the more that it is that you get them. So you got to be very careful throughout the run, making sure that you spend appropriately. So we want to smack open that thing's head just to be able to get it opened on up and do that quick one cycle like that. That was about as super good tight as you can ask for.
It's super tight timing. It's super easy to miss it. I have reset many runs right there. Just because, like, you know, I'll slash and just miss it by just a slight bit. The jump slashing is definitely faster. You can do it by standing still and slashing, but it's just a little bit tighter timing that way. Thought so.
In this game, in terms of its mechanics, like it runs really well, and it's a really wonderful game, but it's also something like if you're used to games like Castlevania and stuff like that, where there's like very rigid, janky movement, like this game is very much paying tribute to that. So you really have to be careful with what your actions are, because you can't just like quickly make up as if you were playing like Ninja Gaiden or something like that. So you got to be careful and very calculated with your actions there.
Yes. Fortunately, you do retain control of your movement in jumps and things like that. The knockback can be, it's not Castlevania bad, but it can be pretty rough in certain spots. Oh, that's not good. Okay. These platforms, I think, are on a global timer, and so if you're like a little bit off, they'll be in slightly different spots than you expect. Also, the music in this game is really good, so get excited for some cat jams for sure.
Yeah, exactly. There's some of the tunes that are just like those really sort of grim melodramatic tunes that really fit the tone of the game, and this Brazilian developer, they seem to get just stunning composers to be able to put together some really incredible stuff. So you're always in for a treat when you're playing any of the Joy Masher games. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna wind up seeing a lot of these stages again. The route is based on being able to see how can I get the item. Oh, that was a nice jump. That jump is really tight. Oh, gosh. And if you miss that, it's pretty costly. So that was really nice, because again, the jank comes into the movement with those types of things. So that's a lot tighter jump than it looks. But with the way that it is that we go about this is you want to go back whatever it is that you've been able to increase your movement speed and be able to do as much cleanup all in one shot. So once you see some of the later upgrades, you'll see how this turns into this little bit slower thing to just really opening up there. So he's going to be lighting up those statues with those torches. That is required to be able to open up this passage here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
even one of the things that's not necessarily as obvious in the run, but there are these like sigil type things that you'll be going to as well. That's included in the 100% collection. So most of the stuff is just actual items that you have a use for, but there are those side things. So when he's going out of the way and just sort of talks to something, there is a specific reason for that.
Yeah, you'll see me like activate a text box and then like immediately cancel it and be like, why did you do that? It's like, I have to. So I just got these spears. Spears are the most overpowered sub-weapon in the game. So your basic attack does 1 damage. You get an axe that you can throw. It's kind of like the knife in Castlevania. It does 1 damage when it hits. It can bounce off a wall and hit again, which is kind of nice. Torches do potentially 3 damage. It just depends on if enemies kind of stay in the torch hitbox or not. But lances can hit potentially twice. Oh, this is not good. This is really bad. There we go. Alright, made it. But lances can hit twice and they do 3 damage per hit. So they're extremely strong compared to everything else that we have right now. So they're a very precious resource. So we make heavy use of them when we can.
Yeah, especially like you'll wind up seeing get to some of the bosses and just go full ham on the spears, especially before you get the sword upgrade. Mm-hmm. And that's why it is like the items are, you know, we have to be careful with how it is that they're used, because like I said before, when you can actually go purchase this stuff in the shop, every item gets more expensive the more that you do it, and obviously in the speed run you don't want to be grinding for any currency, so we want to be able to speed that up as best we can. So now we're getting to see the use of the torches, getting that extra damage there. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that was alright. It was a little bit slower than I'd like, but that was fine. I like forgot that her hitbox is lower than your sword attack, so oops. Yeah, so we did that to get an item that lets you breathe underwater. In theory, you're supposed to get that item and then fall down the pit that's there, and then continue the level. Go try to finish the level, fight a boss. But we don't do that. It's slow. Because you have to go underwater, you have to get an upgrade that's kind of annoying to get with the stuff that we have right now. So it's just easier to do it later, so we just leave it, and we'll go back for it later.
Yeah, I feel like any game that it is that has a save and quit option, like you're legally obligated to at least use it once during a speed run.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we definitely use it a lot here. And it's kind of cool, like you saw a block puzzle, like there are a lot of like puzzle elements and a lot of blocks in this game. Yes. So kind of get a balance of platforming in that.
The devs really like their blocks. Alright, so this boss, sorry, you're probably about to say the same thing, but this green dog phase is always the same. The second phase can be different. Oh, my dude, didn't have to be like that.
No, had to jump. Okay, not too bad, not too bad.
Though, yeah.
If we were gonna have a recovery, that's the good recovery right there.
Yep. Nice save time on that level. Yeah, he likes to hop around like a cricket. That's another spot. There's a lot of spots where you will like lose a lot of time in this run. That's one of them.
Yeah, we'll definitely point out a couple of the other spots. Like there's some bosses where, just like any speed run, there's always like the one that you're just like, oh my goodness, RNG. And unfortunately, one of them in this game is actually pretty late in the run.
It's like one of the last
really
bosses you fight. Like, come on.
I'm just hoping that I'm good luck, because anytime that it is that I've been around for the runs, the fish is always given good RNG. So let's hope that I'm like this talisman for that.
Yeah, don't let me down, Phantom. Alright, so this level is one of the reasons we needed to get that scale that lets us breathe underwater. If we don't get it, we can't get this next upgrade. We actually die before we can get to it. So really important that we are able to breathe underwater here.
And especially, like, we really want to be getting this upgrade, and it should be pretty explanatory why, because we're able to start increasing our movement here.
Yeah, get a nice dash. Oh, that was unfortunate.
Then
yeah, I did a death warp there just because it's a bit faster.
Yeah, and you're gonna see that a couple of times throughout the run where it's just a checkpoint will be activated and then kind of just go off into a corner or get bonked the entire way to an objective just to be able to make sure that we're set up for a quick death.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this spot, the boat goes as fast as the boat want to go.
Yep, that's pretty much it. There's nothing you can do to speed this up in Glitchless. In glitched categories, you can do some fun stuff, but here we cannot. So if you see me on a boat, it's a good time for any announcements that our host might have, so definitely feel free to hop in anytime I'm on a boat.
But if not, then we'll just
we'll
keep on going and set up some of the stuff for later. Like you will see more boats. So if you like them, here's the almost equivalent of an auto scroller.
Yeah. So I think of this as like it's kind of auto scroller, kind of escort mission. Like you have to escort this boat all the way down, you know.
Yeah, everybody likes escort missions. Everybody loves auto scrollers, so why not escort the auto scroller?
Why not both?
But you get to listen to some incredible tunes while you're waiting. Plus, the tech along the way, it's a pretty cool section. Dealing with some of the water physics and everything like that. It's pretty fun. Like, so you're engaged throughout it. It's not like some of them where you're just like, okay, now I'm waiting.
Right. So that was our first visit to the shop. We just buy some torches there to make it a little bit easier later. We'll use them on the boss and also at the beginning of the next level. So might as well buy them now. I probably should buy some health from that seller as well. Oh my gosh, jump up, Haggis, please.
Yeah, it can't be overstated that there is definitely some jank in the game where it's just, you know, after that's one of those item, like sections required for the hundo percent, so it's not just talking to that for no reason.
Yeah.
But
I just like to break walls and talk to rocks, you know.
That's actually a good thing to mention now, is you'll hear him dashing. Before he was just pushing those blocks, but if you wind up dashing and pushing it, it's actually slightly faster for you to do that. So you're going to do that whenever it is that's possible.
Yeah, you don't see it as much on dry land, but you definitely see it on ice or underwater.
Yeah.
The ice one is especially bad when we get to those.
So the spear is really nice there, just because being able to stay, like, the slashing is rough, especially up top. So being able to actually do 3-6 damage kind of thing is really useful, and you're totally safe to, from being up top there, and then just being able to use the torches to finish it off, or those quick slashes.
Yeah, it messed up the torches a little bit. You can't really throw the torch on water, which makes sense. It's a torch. You know.
They did think about some physics in this game.
Yeah, the water just like straight stops the torch. You know, really good design choice. Alright, so I activated that checkpoint. I made sure I heard the sound because I have forgotten to activate it before. And we need it for a death warp here.
Yeah, because as you'll see, like, this is, you know, a pretty long stretch here, so we want to make sure that we pay attention to those checkpoints, because getting back.
Yeah, and then imagine getting through all of this damageless so far, pretty much.
My goodness. Yeah, this has been smooth.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want it to be, though. I do want to take some damage here. Haha. that ice face that I just destroyed, they shoot ice breath, and they freeze you, and that one will always get you if you try to rush. If you take it slow, he won't blow his ice breath, but if you go too fast, he will always freeze you.
It can't be overstated how much the developer loves blocks.
Yeah. Here's another one. So we do all this so that we can get the next movement upgrade, which is a double jump. Double jump's real nice. It is extra nice because we have dash, and so your dash speed is maintained through a jump, so you can kind of get a little bit more smooth. And yeah, see, this is the freeze that I was talking about. Alright, I'm just gonna walk this. I want to take some damage anyway. Kill me. Thank you.
Now we're back.
Also down there we picked up a bag upgrade. Bags determine how many sub-weapons you can hold, so we went from a max of 10 to a max of 15, which is extra nice. So we need a lot of them.
Yeah, especially when we're talking about some of the weapons for later in the run, you're really going to see some of the sub-weapons wind up being like used exclusively for certain sections. They're so useful.
Yeah, so even this next boss coming up, we're going to use a lot of sub-weapons.
Yeah, it's actually probably one of my favorite bosses in terms of the sub-weapon usage.
This area, though, is not fun. Oh gosh, see, every time.
Yeah. You have jank plus wind physics plus tiny platforms plus ice.
Oh my gosh. And then he saw me like infinitely float on that platform. If you like don't quite get on a platform, the game will sometimes let you on top of the platform, but depending on which way the platform is moving, you might get infinitely stuck falling on top of it. Alright, this boss. Hello, Three-Face.
This is sub-items galore right here. You'll see those individual bonks there from the spear. Like the spear just does monster damage on this thing. Like you think about trying to maintain slash damage on it. No, just stand, do our thing, and then light it up.
Yep, that's it. If you miss killing it there, you are in for a world of hurt, because the boss will kind of recycle through its whole AI routine, and it takes forever. It's really bad.
Yeah, and because you don't have like a powered up, like you have your second level sword at this point, but like it's still not very strong.
Yeah.
When they say level 2, it really is just 2 damage.
Well, actually, strangely, it's not.
It's not at that point.
Nope, it's still 1 damage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's only
faster.
When it's the 3 is.
Yeah, 3 is 3 damage, which is a super good upgrade. But this one is like, it's a good upgrade because you get more damage per second, but it's still not like amazing.
Yeah, and trying to slash that boss is awful.
Yeah, I would not recommend. I refuse.
It's one of those things where it's like almost like, you know what, I'm just restarting the game now. I need my sub-weapons if you don't have them.
Right.
Or go grind for currency. It's way too easy with that. There's some of the other bosses where you can do the backup, but that one's just rough.
Cool, so we got another rune stone there. The rune stones are kind of cool. They give you lore about the world. You don't really need to read them. They're fun. Here's another block.
In case you didn't love blocks already, well, you love blocks now. And especially because you don't even get the convenience of them sliding themselves on a hill.
Right.
you still gotta put in the work.
Oh my gosh, I lost the dash. There we go.
Uphill, downhill, it doesn't matter. So torches will delight, but blocks won't slide on hills. You just, you know...
You can only ask for so much, you know?
This game, initially, like, secret passages galore for being able to go and do these item collections, so you really got to pay attention to your surroundings when you're first going through this game.
Yeah, 100%ing this without a guide is pretty rough. So we just got an armor upgrade. Armor upgrade is pretty good. You get reduced damage. The only weird thing about it is it's underwater, and you just instantly put it on. Like, okay, sure. And now we have this boss.
This boss.
This is the funniest boss.
So
yes, good.
This is it.
Yeah, so he'll summon those zombies, which, like, if you're up in the treetops, they don't matter.
That's the boss.
He's very into summoning them, but they do nothing.
I feel, you know, when I realized that you could just stand up there, I was so happy the first time I found out that that tree branch was like the savior branch. So now we get to start coming back to seeing some of the usefulness of our items here, because you can get like some of the items that he's going to be collecting. Like I even think this one, like you can come here on your first visit. It's just so slow.
Yeah,
it's so
sure.
slow.
Yeah,
so,
it's not fun. Oh,
so
that's why. Sometimes
being able to come here when you're doing this is just, it's so much nicer. And that's where a lot of the optimization comes in with 100%, is just when is the earliest that I can possibly get these movement options, and we'll have one more substantial movement option coming up soon. And it's just when do I get this, and how is it going to be useful for me? And the double jump and the dash are the really big ones for a lot of these things. And again, have we mentioned blocks?
Yeah. I might need to do another save cycle here. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
You're good.
It's a little close, it's fine.
What more fitting timing to get a health upgrade than
yeah,
near
exactly.
death.
Well, that's why you do it that way. Yeah, that health upgrade is incredibly convenient for the way that you do that room. That room is meant to be a little bit slower. You're kind of meant to, you know, kind of go even more around that area, but you can use a lance to skip some of it.
Yeah.
All right, now we're back in our village. It's still on fire. Feels bad.
Yeah. Still just as intact for some reason.
Yeah. Holding up pretty well, you know.
Yeah, given the circumstances, we're doing okay. So yeah, they're just going to be a little bit of item collection. Some of these things, obviously, like when you don't have the double jump and stuff like that, like you're not getting up to some of these things. Because surprisingly, there isn't your ever so lovely block to go through. There are blocks later, but not in that spot.
Okay.
But one of the nice things about this run, you look at a lot of 100% runs in games, and some of the times it's just needlessly collecting stuff just for the sake of the completion, and it's like, I'm never going to use this. At least, like, it's really cool because in this run you actually get to use most of the stuff that you will end up collecting, like especially in terms of just health and stuff like that. It means that you're able to do more deboost strats and everything like that. So it's kind of a nice, convenient run in that capacity. Just
sure.
being able to have some of those buffers there.
Yeah, for sure. I see in chat somebody using the various commands for the marathon. We got a lot of cool runs in the marathon for sure. But also remember to donate to help out for next year's. Oh, please don't get poisoned. Okay, good.
Oh, that was
a little scary.
You do not want to get poisoned.
Yeah, the poison is healed by like random purple plants that are scattered around, but the poison it's so bad. You like take damage every couple of seconds when you're poisoned, and oh no!
Oh,
okay.
big spore.
Here's what we're gonna do. So, okay, of course that happens. So what happened there was we got a, you can probably still hear it, infinitely spawning poison spore. So I'm going to show why that's a problem first, and then I'm going to save and quit. There's supposed to be a mini-boss that shows up here,
them.
And you can hear him, but then nothing happens here, so we're just gonna save and quit. And we'll go back to that level, we'll do it again. Fortunately, we don't have to go that way anymore. So
yeah, so there's a reason why he still continued to go the way that he did, and it's just because things are a little bit more opened up now. But yeah, we were actually talking before the run that it's like, hey, haven't seen that in a while.
Thankfully. That happen in a bit.
So of course here we are, but because he opened up that door there, we're able to just go straight.
Where I heard him coming and I couldn't see him for a second. I was like, is he coming? Like, what's happening?
So thankfully we're here, because otherwise this just simply will not progress at all.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can
progresses. I don't know if it is finishable, because the sprite has to do something at the end. So I don't know, because the sprite isn't there, I don't know if it can do the thing it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
The one time that I did have that happen, I clowned around too much, and I like got over on the left, because I was like, the enemy's not here, and I didn't take any damage, so I was clowning and just got over on the left side, and got sucked into the left side of the screen, and got soft locked. And so I was like, well, alright, let's save and quit. That run was ahead too, I was pretty mad.
Such is the nature of speedrunning, and usually, you know, it always comes up in events where it's like, oh, I haven't seen that before.
Right.
That's always the time, and then it's just like, okay, I was about to explain something, but now we're explaining something else as to what I think is going on. So there's kind of a weird blessing that exact glitch has happened before, because you know, we have Vertz experienced and well versed in the.
I know how to deal with this one. Right.
So if you like that armor, we got a treat for you later.
Yeah, just you wait. So I learned from there's a runner who's specialized in kind of the glitched modes for this game. He's very, very good at those modes. Really revolutionized that run. It's like I think any percent in this game glitched is something like 15 minutes now. It's really intense.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I remember when it was like 20, 30 something.
They're really hard glitches, for me anyway. I know, like, you know, one of them in particular is pretty rough, but they're pretty cool. But he messaged me after my most recent run and was like, hey, so it turns out the armor doesn't actually seem to count for 100%. So if you want to skip the last armor in the game, you could, in theory.
Interesting.
Like, well, that's weird that it doesn't count. Not entirely sure why. Okay, that's fine. Nope, come on. Come on, dude. Don't be like this, Haggis.
You got this, buddy. There we go.
Haggis, come on, man. Oh, this is bad. Okay, I did this to myself. I have no one to blame but myself.
Now we're just gonna take a little bit more care.
Oh my god, why are you here?
Okay.
Stop, dude, come on. Didn't have to be like this, man.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Alright, well, if we survive this, I'm gonna play this like super safe. It'll be a little bit slower, but that's fine.
Yeah, luckily, like, of all of the bosses and the mini bosses, like, you can still die here, but it's pretty predictable, and generally easy enough to dodge, so thankfully the low health shouldn't be too much of a problem, but we'll give Vertz his face.
Yeah, alright, cool.
There we go. See, the power of the torches even still, like, they're always just a useful little thing. And now we have our last upgrade here. And
that was that death warp is slower, but I had a quarter heart of health, and it slows you down to have a quarter heart coming into this part, so because you'll die in one hit if you have a quarter heart, which is you don't want.
So now you get to see just how useful this is.
Yeah, so this cape is a cool upgrade for sure. It lets you kind of catch these updrafts, which is required to finish this level, in fact. You can ignore this shopkeeper. He sells nothing that you want. He sells, like, axes, which are useless here. Also a nice Super Metroid call-out here.
you know, their nostalgia and passions on their sleeve pretty heavily there. And that's a perfect example of that, right from the ring shots.
Yeah, there we go.
This is a rough boss. It's really tough.
He can line up really well, or sometimes he does not. I've killed him in like 30 seconds. Other times not.
Yeah, it's just a really tough thing because you're floating and you're having to deal with that. It's a pretty small hitbox, so it's a rough fight. But see, you're getting to see the usefulness of being able to glide here. Like, look how much we just went by.
Yeah. And I did pick up an extra life at the beginning of this level, in part because I used one on the last level, and we have another death warp coming up. So we definitely don't want to game over when we do that death warp. But it's also just kind of good habit for marathon safety. Another bag upgrade. There are 2 more bag upgrades total. We have, let's see, 1, 2... yeah, just 2 more main levels, actually.
Oh, Blocks, we've missed you.
Alright, this is a fun one. There's a lot going on in this level. It's one of the longer levels in the run as well. The Underground Temple and Aqueducts 2 are about the same length, but very, very different. Oh, come on.
Yeah, the mechanics are very different. They're both pretty scary stages in terms of a lot of the stuff that's going on. Like, even just that section there, when you're not expecting what's going on, the spikes and everything like that is just awful.
These guys today. It's like orcs with shields that they throw. I don't know.
They're rough, and especially now that like you're starting to add things like the crumble blocks.
Yeah, that section's pretty rough. This room can be pretty bad. If you want to prep for the jump here. Okay.
So this is a very scary section, because you probably, people viewing probably noticed there's not really anything below you there. Like, missing that is costly. It's really costly.
It's like, you can get back up, but it's just kind of annoying. The only way to do that is to just jump well. Almost fell in the water. What was that? And that gets us our level 3 sword. Level 3 sword's nice. It combines the speed of the level 2 sword with the damage of the lance. So you do 3 damage per hit now. So that basically replaces the lances now. Okay. Another boat section. Another escort mission here.
Still just as joyful as the previous time, but again, it's nice because you actually have stuff to do along the way. Like, you'll still wind up having to wait for it, but you know, it is what it is. Anybody playing a speed game, there's always a section, especially the longer the run. But it's still really cool, and you get to listen to a really darn good song, so can't complain about that. And again, you're seeing just how useful that glide is, and it gets to be used as a backup just in case too, so it's nice.
Oh, I missed my high five. That's too early on my jump. Alright, let's see if the boat does its thing here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It does! Yes, come with me.
Again, physics is optional in this game sometimes.
Yeah, usually that boat will kind of stay where it lands when you come on this screen, but sometimes it just decides it's going to travel with you and go on an adventure.
So there's... This is one where you have a death warp as well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I ended up buying a little health there, because I was like lower than I wanted to be for you know, what we're going to be going through here.
Yeah, this section here, it's pretty scary. It's rough, but it's a pretty interesting section. That
we'll be okay.
in terms of some of the stuff that you're gonna wind up doing here. For anybody who has nightmares about the Ninja Turtles down level, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We revisited it, but in another game now.
Yeah, fortunately no bombs to disarm here. But...
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about the sense of panic, because you can actually kind of just stand to the side there. It's not not as big a deal.
Alright, death warp there. Alright, yeah, that's fine.
And then, yeah, this is a thing. We're gonna see the power of the sword here.
If I can get the hits, come on, press the button. My timing's like a little bit off pressing the button today.
Yeah, it's really weird, because there are certain games where, you know, like say if you're used to other types of run and gun games with or ones with swords or something like that, where it's just totally mash heavy, where it's just like mash, then you're gonna struggle a bit here, because it's more of a rhythmic mash the way that you wind up going about it, especially with the way that you kind of do the jump slashes. So there's a combination of speed, but it's like a strategic speed.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, it's a little different than some other games I play. Like the next game I'm going to play, Primal Light, in this same marathon right after this. You can kind of stack your attacks in that, but here you cannot. Oh my gosh, please.
So we're going and hitting, each of these wheels has a different amount of times that you need to hit it, but they're all going to open something up, so that we can go to, you know, our favorite spot.
So strangely, you only need to get that to get an upgrade here. You don't need it to finish the level. So it's like an extra like hidden thing. Also, that guy took 8 torches before, now he takes 3 sword hits.
Yeah, it's quite lovely.
Alright, this boss. RNG Fish, who I tried to give a high five to earlier. He's mad that I missed the high five, so...
But we'll see if Fanto is good luck. Oh no, I'm not good luck right now. Wait. Maybe?
Well, you were good luck, except that I was bad at pressing the button. So everybody get to kick back here.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna see a little bit more fish. But there's not much you can do about that. Here.
Yeah, I was 1 hit off.
Okay.
I was just a little bit off on my timing for the sword hits. It happens sometimes. I've been playing too much Lagoon.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's tight in terms of the sort of rhythmic slashing, and you have to make sure that it's like you're careful as to where you do and don't take deboosts and stuff like that. So you know, that even with a good pattern, that boss can still be really rough, because you just got to be careful as to how it is that you wind up playing. It's certainly not free with a good pattern.
Oh, that was nice.
That was very clean, though.
That was good. That was not on purpose. I'm never gonna be able to do that again.
You're supposed to say it is, because that was so beautiful.
So you see our friend with the good armor here again. Oh, come on. Okay. Yeah, so that guy's
as far as we're
know,
concerned, that the upgraded armor is a part of Hundo still.
Yes, yeah. You know, it makes the last boss so much easier that, like, without it, it's just so much slower. Alright, if you are a fan of Donkey Kong Country, and specifically the minecart segment in Donkey Kong Country, here you go. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and I was about to say, is like Donkey Kong Country, you actually can do some little skips, and you wind up seeing that set up there a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll see some of that. Okay. So for 100%, someone's asking about what is 100% in this game? You need to get all health upgrades, all of the lore stones, all the bag upgrades, all weapons, not all armor technically, but we get all the armor just because, my dude, what is this? did not hit me.
Okie dokie. He put on a good show, but...
He did. He tried his best.
And then the last time I did commentary on this run, apparently chat determined that this armor now looks like box art Mega Man, so canonically this is just the adventures of box art Mega Man now.
Yes.
Combined with a little bit of minecart action.
Yeah, so the third armor is nice because it lets you charge sub-weapons, so you can spend 10 sub-weapons to do a special attack. That special attack is, they're all pretty helpful, but they're especially helpful on the final boss. They will make it much faster, so we definitely want to get that for that purpose. Since it's allowed in this category, you might as well do it, right?
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of it when you get to the final boss, and they're really cool attacks.
You do have to remember which way to go in these minecart segments. If you mess up, you have to just like bail out of the minecart section that you're on, because you can't go backwards in this level. You'd have to replay the whole thing. Yeah,
there are a lot of things in terms of like, especially when we're talking in the context of a speed run. There are a lot of things that are pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty costly mistakes depending on where you are. Like there was that pattern in that water level where it's just trying to be able to get through those platforms is just rough there. Yeah, we get to see the power of the sword now.
Yeah, so that was combo armor and sword. So I used a torch sub-weapon to get a flame shield, and then you can just stand on that boss, who is definitely not Chill Penguin.
Definitely not at all. Won't
Definitely
do anything slightly
copyright
similar to Chill
infringement
Penguin.
Penguin.
No, never ever. Don't, shh, Capcom, don't say anything.
We do a little skip here, glide over this guy, and we are able to open that gate because the enemy is not spawned in. The game is like, oh, well, there's no enemy there, so I can open this gate. And then the enemy spawns in, but the gate is still opening, so just get to skip it. In talking more with the glitched main glitch speedrunner about what's going on in this level, you know, I've joked before, like, well, it's, you know, glitchless, but really it's more like in bounds. But if we call it in bounds, most of the glitches are in bounds, so you know, that doesn't work. So you know, we kind of consider basically like major glitches essentially. So this is not a major glitch, it's just taking advantage of a system within the game that, whoa, went too far. That doesn't really stop you from doing this thing. Oh no!
Yeah, it's always one of those things where it's interesting, like if you're somebody who's wanting to get into speedrunning and looking at categories or even routing new games, it's something that like community winds up being an important aspect of it. Like you're looking, like say a new game like Metroid Dread right now, everybody's trying to figure out like what's a major glitch, what's a minor glitch, what's and you know, some of those things are loosely defined. So these things are always like these community efforts where everybody's like trying to figure out what's a reasonable thing. Just, and the big thing is like it's reasonable so that everybody can have fun doing this. Like we always want these runs to be accessible, and like, this game, like even though there's certain spots that are pretty rough, like the community's there to help out, and there's a lot of really cool tech about the game that it's like if you're slightly interested in it, definitely check it out. Like it's a really cool game. There's so much fun stuff, and even if you want to get into like a shorter run, because this is a longer category and there's a lot to remember, like the glitched run, I didn't realize that it was already brought down.
Yeah, it's
that
pretty
much.
speedy. Yeah, it's pretty speedy. What am I doing? I was like ready to hit that switch. I don't need to. The screen's messing with my brain.
We mentioned that there
today.
are blocks in this game?
Yeah, there's a few, you know. So here you need to get both of these blocks on this elevator. One of them like locks into place like that, and then you have to push the other one mostly on it. don't do what I have tried to do, which is try to stack the 2 blocks on top of each other and then push them. If you do that, they will just get like locked in each other and then they won't move. So you'll have to save and quit.
And you saw how long it took to get here. You don't.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Want to do that.
You do not want to do. This boss is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a boss in this game.
So, with our trusty sword, there are the different hitboxes on this. Like there's basically like 2 separate bosses in one. You need this thing to open up so you can take out the inside part.
Cool.
There we go. Nice 2 cycle.
Yeah, that's what you want it to be. Alright, so we've been collecting these shards after every boss fight. You need to get all of those to be able to get into the final level here. So we just completed the Odallus crystal, which you can see at the bottom right of my my inventory there. And you'll notice Haggis is like, oh, the barrier is gone, I must go. It's like, well, we didn't see the barrier, but what you're, I think, meant to do is, you know, finish the 4 core levels, try to come into this level, realize you can't, and then go explore.
Yeah, that, you know, that'd be one of those things that would be what 99% of players would likely experience.
Yeah, that's definitely what I did first time through. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? That was dumb.
And if you're not completing some sort of a magic crystal or something like that, like, is it really an RPG kind of S game? Like, really?
Right.
You always got to be putting something back together. For the fate of the world.
Alright, so I was a little bit careful in that segment to avoid damage because I'm going to do a lot of damage boosts on the next boss here, and it's highly likely I'll take some damage on the way to that boss.
Yeah, health will be pretty critical at that point in time. So, you know, if you were to be actually going for like, oh yeah, I really want to hammer down on a PB, there'd be certain things that you'd be risking, but we're talking a marathon here, and we do not want to be doing certain things again, because, you know, it's a pretty lengthy journey, so safeties are definitely a thing, and luckily this game, like, that's where it is, where it's just, if you're getting into this game and speedrunning it, like, or just speedrunning in general, like, you don't have to go for a world record right away.
Right.
So safeties are fine. Safeties are totally fine.
We'll see. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna...
Okay.
Okay. Not too bad.
I tried charging up a special with the lance, but it didn't work because I didn't have enough lances. I only have 8.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is fine. I like to use a flame shield here just because it's fun. It's a nice way to just kind of relax on that part. Oh
yeah, because that part is pretty darn rough. But thankfully, along the way, we get ourselves health upgrade, like health pickup.
Yep.
A lot of the
never here. Why are you here?
The chest will drop. Like you'll wind up getting random things, but there's certain things that will wind up being in fixed spots that you can rely on. Thankfully, they're all random. There would probably be things routed slightly differently in this game.
I see somebody asking, what is the max sword level for normal play here? So level 3 is the max. It's the best sword in the game. If you want to do like any percent or low percent, you would maybe stick with level 1. This boss we've seen before, way back in like the 3rd stage of the game. And she doesn't change her strategy at all. She just rushes you and swings her sword. But we have all the gear now, so we have changed our strategy by just being able to tank. And that's all you need to do.
Now we're loading up.
All right, yeah, this is the finale. We definitely want to load up for that. You may remember at the beginning of the game, Haggis, what are you doing, dude? Haggis? I was gonna take it. Oh my gosh, dude, what are you doing, man?
gonna let
Okay.
Vertz. Okay.
Okay.
Just gonna let Vertz concentrate there. I guess was not doing what we wanted him to be doing.
He was like stuck in an animation there. Sometimes the game is a little janky.
There we go. Now we're getting our charge shots.
I was like, you're not facing the right way. I don't know if you'll do the charge shot the way I want you to. So remember when we were... No. Okay. Okay, good. Sorry, I've seen the game soft lock there where the crystal doesn't rise, and I thought it was doing that. Way back at the beginning, we were searching for our son. This is our son. He's now aged several years and is the leader of the enemy army. And also now he's this monster. So that's pretty cool.
And now we're going to see the power of the spear, like the charged up spears and everything like that. You're using a lot of charge shots in combination with some slashing about. But if he wants to rain fire and do all that fancy stuff, well, we're gonna rain some spears on him. Seems only fitting. Actually, really
time
cool
will be soon. It'll be when the screen goes white after this final hit. So there we go. And time. Sorry, I just said when the screen goes black after that final hit. My bad. But yeah, that's a what, a 50-18. Nice, pretty solid. Almost sub 50.
Nice.
And then we get the cheesy ending. This game is like super dark. And if you follow the dialogue and the lore, it's like extra dark. So basically we just killed our son and killed everybody else. And now we have the power of the Odallus crystal, which will be bad. Because we can rule for 1,000 years. No big deal, you know. Yeah, and thank you for the GGs in chat as well. Cool. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Fanta.
For those who are looking to get into this run and everything like that, like I said, the community is really great. Even though I don't necessarily speedrun the game, like I'm familiar with some of the runners, and obviously Vertz and I chat and everything, and everybody's just like super friendly, and everybody's excited to get more runners of this game. And there's a lot of different categories and a lot of different ways to play this. So depending on what sort of play style it is that you have with these types of games, you know, there's a lot of options available to you. So if you're even slightly interested, definitely go and check it out, even if you just sort of like casually run it. Because as we were talking about before the run, there are certain things where it's like this game is great casually, but I actually think that learning some of the strats actually makes this game even more enjoyable. So it's definitely worth looking into. And it's a great developer, great game. So definitely go give it a shot.
Yeah. And it's just really cool aesthetically. Like everything about this game is a lot of fun. The jank you can get used to. You're not likely to run into it in a casual run, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just when you speedrun stuff, the game hates you. All right. So what we'll do, I'm the next runner for the next game. So we're going to take a short break. I'm going to pass it off to Ancient Angel to sign us off for a second, and then we'll go to intermission.
Thank you. And also thank you to the Phantom, Mia and Vertz for running this game. Looks very fun. So next up, we are going to, after a little intermission, we are going to have the next one, who's Primal Light. And I need to remind everyone that you can still make some donations that will, and we have an incentive for this one. That will be, we go from an any % relax to a low % relax.
Oh.
So that could be fun.
I forgot that I submitted that one, but yes, I can do that for sure.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
I hope
Very scary.
It changes one thing in the route, so I can definitely remember that if we hit that for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's say it could be fun to see you do that. But anyway, yeah, Primal Light up next. Others else check out the schedule. We will be here a long time. There's lots of things to see. And look up, maybe make a donation. We would appreciate it very much. Yeah.